ever wonder why school doesn't teach you some essential life lessons? I know, me too. It'd be nice if they taught you how to do your taxes and, job interviews, things like that. Well, one thing I know that they don't teach is salon etiquette. Know how to behave in a salon, how to tip. So let's break it down today. Here's answers to 12 questions that you may have been maybe embarrassed to ask about salon etiquette. Number 1, should you tip the stylist assistant? And if so, how much? Short answer, yes, you should tip the assistant. Long answer, depends on what they're doing. If they only wash your hair, then maybe just tip them $1 to $3. If they wash and brush and dry and curl your hair, maybe $5 to $7. Just depends on your bill, right? Because assistants, they depend on their tips just like the stylists do. They're typically working for minimum wage, but if you're on a tight budget, couple bucks. Number 2, how do you tell your stylist you don't like what they just did? Well, my safest advice would be honest, but stay calm. Just politely explain what you don't like. Maybe they can fix it right there. Maybe it's an easy fix. Maybe they'll have to come back in on their time off. I don't know. If they're a good stylist and they really value you, they will find a way to get you back in. Because I guarantee you, every stylist that I know of, they only want to do a good job. Trust me, when they make a mistake, they take it home with them and stare at the ceiling when they're in bed. Because it hurts to the soul if they're a good stylist, because it's really like an artist. And it's typically communication. And something went wrong in the consultation, in the communication, or the stylist technique and what they envision just isn't what you envision. Just give them a chance. Let them try to fix it. If they're a newer stylist, fresh out of school, maybe just go to somebody else. Because I know this is hard to hear, but if they're a brand new stylist and you're telling them, and it's a fine line, if you're telling them, hey, I just want to show you because I want you to do better, that's one thing. But if you're just saying, I don't like this, that's going to etch at their confidence before they even get out of the gate. So fine line there. But if it's your trusted stylist and you really, sometimes we don't hit it out of the park. It happens. Number 3, is it acceptable to ask for a refund or a free service if they don't offer after messing up your hair? Most salons do offer a free service or a refund if they're trying to fix what you don't like. If they don't, just calmly express your dissatisfaction with that decision and tell them you just don't feel like you got your money's worth. And guess what? You can always go to a different place. And number 4, what should you do if you switch stylists but at the same salon? Do you find that awkward? You shouldn't. We used to always say, we don't care who you see in our 4 walls as long as you're coming in the front door. It's too bad that every salon doesn't act that way, because it is awkward for the client. I've talked to a lot of people and they've watched a stylist work in the chair beside them and they really feel like they would connect better, but they don't do that and they don't make that appointment with them because they don't want to hurt their stylist's feelings. Discuss it with them. Discuss it with the salon manager. Maybe the manager will say, heck yeah, you can see whoever, and it's not that big a deal. It just depends on the salon and the situation. Number 5, how much tip should you leave your stylist? Typically 15 to 20% of the service price is a sufficient tip. 15% for good service, 20% for exceptional service. And if your stylist always goes up and beyond and they do more than you expected and they're always hitting it out of the park, aim for at least 20%. Number 6, is it rude to get annoyed if your stylist is running behind a few minutes? Occasional delays happen, and it's understandable. However, the stylists need to communicate that to you. They need to tell you that they're running behind. Maybe you have stuff to do And if they're going to be an extra 20 minutes or something, maybe you can run down to the bank or whatever and get one of your errands done. It's just respect. You know, they should leave it up to you, but they should communicate that. Either the front desk should communicate it, or they should stop what they're doing and say, hey, I know you have an appointment here in the next 5 minutes and I'm going to be another half hour. Will that work for your schedule? Do we need to reschedule? We are all busy. And yeah, it's annoying if somebody's running behind, but it happens. I mean, there's things in the salon that happen all the time that are beyond our control. And it's not like somebody's more important than another person. It is not that way at all. What should you do if you have to cancel your appointment? Look, life happens. We are all human. I would say you should at least try to give them 24 hours notice. I think that's sufficient to open up the books. But remember, most stylists are working and only get paid when they have somebody in their chair. So if you don't show up for your appointment that they're depending on for their paycheck, that hurts their pocketbook. So if you give them at least 24 hours so they can maybe they have a wait list and they can get somebody else in that slot, I'm sure they would totally appreciate it. I know in today's world there's a lot of cancellations. I don't know why. I keep hearing that all over the place. And a lot of people have a lot of stylists have instilled security deposits if you don't show up or if you don't cancel your appointment 24 hours in advance. Sometimes it's 48 hours in advance. I don't know about you, but there's days that you wake up and things happen, or you wake up and you're not feeling well and you don't have 24 hours to give them. But you know, if you got a fever, you're not going in the salon, and they shouldn't charge you for that. But you should also be honest too. Just explain the situation to them. Honesty, communication. Do let them know. Don't just not show up, because if they're going to charge you something, that no-show charge, yeah, I'm for that, because that's just rude. Is it rude to tell a stylist exactly what you want in a lot of detail? I wouldn't say it's rude at all. In fact, I'm thinking a lot of stylists would appreciate that. What's more annoying is if you don't know what you want at all and you come in and go, I don't know what I want, do whatever you want. No, that doesn't work. I would much rather have somebody come in and give me pictures and show me exactly what they're thinking of, but don't tell me how to do my job. Don't tell me, hey, I want one placed here and here and here, and oh, my last stylist used this formula and that's what I want you to use. No, don't do that. That is micromanaging their skill set. People do it all the time though, and it just makes you feel, I don't know, it just makes you feel really small. So don't do that. Just show your stylist what your idea is, consult with them, see if it's doable, if they could do it in that session, how much it's going to cost, and then relax and let them do their magic. Do you always have to tip a salon owner? If the salon owner is doing your hair, do you tip them like you would a stylist? I used to say no, it's not necessary to tip the salon owner, unless they went out of their way to accommodate you with something. But most of the time, if the salon owner is doing your hair, I know some people would disagree, because there's some salon owners who work full-time behind the chair and they depend on their tips too. I have lots of thoughts on that. I always think that as a salon owner, if you have a team, that you should be working on your business and not in your business. But I understand you got into the business of salon ownership because you love doing hair, and you wouldn't want to take that away from you. Whole other conversation. Is it ever okay to be on your cell phone during an appointment? What do you think I'm gonna say to that? Only, and I mean only if it's an emergency. You should not be talking on the phone if you are doing someone's hair. No, it is rude, disrespectful. How other way do you want me to say it? I know in today's world, you can't even ask people to not have their cell phone on them, because they use their cell phone for everything from booking to ringing people out to Pinterest and getting ideas, things like that. But you should definitely not be talking on the phone if a client is sitting in your chair. Unless it is an emergency, you excuse yourself and away from the situation, and that's the only time. What if your stylist wants to talk, but you prefer peace and quiet? What if you don't want to talk? Maybe you've been going all day long, maybe you have 3 kids at home, whatever the situation, and your spa time is at the salon getting your hair done. You're not obliged to chat. You don't have to talk. just tell the stylist that you prefer not talking, that you just want to relax and you just want to sit there, or just mention to them you're tired and you don't feel like talking. It is not rude at all. But I know something weird happens when you sit down in that chair, and it's almost like you can't talk, even though we talk about everything. But it's like, I don't know, it's a weird thing. So what should you do if you love the way your stylist does one thing to your hair but you hate the other? So maybe they cut your hair and you love the cut, but you hated how they styled it, or you hated how they colored it. I used to get this all the time, so not all the time, but like, I love volume. I love to get volume out of the hair, right? And I do it with a round brush and blow dryer. And I love that. I just love it. I think bouncy hair, it just feels good. But not everybody thinks that way. And I had a couple of guests who said, oh my gosh, my hair's so fluffy when I leave here. What they're really saying is, Denise, hold down the volume a little bit, right? So I had to just ask them. I was like, am I styling it a little too big for you? And and you can laugh about it. And yeah, I'd rather have it smoother, or flat, not as big. So you just have to be honest and talk to them and just say, hey, can we try something different? I know when I go in and get my hair done, not 95% of the time, I hate how they style it. I hate how they finish it out. I always have to go home and wash my hair and then re-dry it before I know if I like the cut or not. How many of you feel the same way? If you've had that happen to you, let me know, okay? Just comment and say, hey, it's happened to me too. Because as stylists, we need to know that, because we need to know how to style hair. I think that's 85% of the game, is how to style your hair so you love it when you walk out of the salon. You should be, flipping it around and feeling good. Go to Target, shop, and have everybody say, wow, you look terrific, right? But it happens, and I've talked to a lot of people who say, yeah, I need to wash it before I know if I like it or not. If you are going to suggest that they try something different, bring up a photo of what you're thinking of. If you didn't like the way the curls came out when they finished it, bring in a photo of what you want it to look like. Everything's communication. Your hairstylist is not a magician. They can't read your mind, and they probably are doing the best that they know how to do with the knowledge that they have at that time. And if they're like a lot of successful hairstylists out there, they are bettering themselves every single week and going to ongoing education. So the next time you come into their chair, whether it's 6 weeks or 6 months, they're gonna know more. They're gonna do better. Knowing these tips can make your next salon visit a lot more successful, don't you think? If you have any questions, or if you have an instance that you've been a little bit uncomfortable with in the salon, let me know that. I love hearing the stories. I love hearing from you. I really thank you for watching this and just being part of our community. And like always, remember, when you know better, you do better.